Okie dokie, let's go jump some ranked games with a random character and see what I'm going to get today. And it looks like we are playing the PYROMANCER, but we do start off with a fire pit along with a box of riches, which honestly, that's actually amazing. Now we do want to start out by grabbing ourselves a wooden sword with the little walrus tusk as well as a garlic. I'm going to roll once. That is a whetstone. So I'll be gladly taking the whetstone because we could end up going for burning blade type builds. But I also want to sell this because we're going to need a weapon. Making sure I don't craft up that shepherd's crook. I'm also tempted to sell our little star of courage so we can get a little bit of poison. But I am going to rock on with this. Now this is going to be round 1. Is it going to be too crazy? Probably not. Because we're going to begin 3 shiny shells. They're literally going to heal back to full after 5 seconds. So we're kind of at a disadvantage. They have a little bit less damage, but with the empower it kind of makes up for it. And again, yeah, they're back at full HP. Yeah, it's not going to be close. Even our little emeralds definitely would not have helped this. However, looking like we're probably going to go for burning blade type builds. And I do kind of want to take the hell bot, inflict a little bit of poison. And do we take our storage? I'm going to settle on a little bit of storage and we are going to move on. So this should be kind of nice. We should be able to get a lot more damage, inflict a little bit of poison so our opponents can't really outlast us too much. Now they're inflicting their own poison as well, but our one is going to be a little tiny bit faster than a LuckOuts, which is kind of crazy because it is only chipped emeralds. But it's not looking too bad for us. Hell yeah, it's not. Lots of flat damage. And that's why I kept our little star of courage, so we could get unique. You know what? I kind of want to take out. Yeah, I'm definitely going to take out. It does give us a skull badge. We could go for some poison stacking, but I don't necessarily really do want that. I do want to take this, however, and go for Shelly and speed up our unique, but I want to roll like crazy. Take this out, actually, so we can find ourselves another whetstone and go for the fastest burning blade I think I've ever crafted. I'm also going to speed up our little hero sword because, honestly, the stamina cost is going to be a lot lower on this. So the faster we get this going, it's not going to be as bad as a broom. We're going to be trying to inflict that poison. And I'm tempted to sell one flame here to grab ourselves this piggy bank that is on sale. Or sell a little red ruby. I think that's going to be our game plan. But let's move on once again. Get our hero sword going and get our Shelly going at the same time. But can we beat this opponents? They're also rocking unique with a tusk book. They're going to be stacking up a lot of spikes. But again, we're going to be trying to inflict that poison. Our stamina cost is actually not too crazy on a little hero sword. Hell yeah. Not bad at all. We got a hero longsword and we could try to go for a second one right now. Should we try to go for double burning blades? I mean, it makes sense if we're going to be stacking heat like crazy, doesn't it? So we take the banana, we take the wooden sword, I take out our box of riches as I roll, and that is a chili pepper chili goobers with the burning blade. I mean, that's very tempting, isn't it? We can get infinite heat stacking extremely fast. It is tempting, but I'm not going to take it. Now another hell bot with this as well. That's way too tempting. Now an Amulet of Energy could also be fantastic as well if we want to go for something like a Staff of Fire. The next one is going to be significantly harder to find ourselves a whetstone, so I really did want to try and find one, but I can't complain. We got one burning sword, and that I'm happy for. We definitely want to take ourselves another hell bot. I'm going to venture on with this. We should be able to get a lot of flat damage. We're going to have our Shelly going at 5 seconds thanks to our Amulet of Energy. Along with our unique, it's going to go up to 9 seconds after the first seconds. But it should be our heals. Well, we have got our flat damage, and not bad. Our opponent stole all our heat as well. But that's going to be crits too. Okay, crits. Kind of nasty. We got to take that. With a hell bot, with a fanny pack also. Now this on the other hand, we could take 2. Or we try to look for that whetstone. Okay, it wasn't worth it. Do we want to hold on to this just in case we want to go for that Staff of Fire? Maybe not. Now we sell this one gemstone. I take this out for 1 second as I roll again. And we could try to go for a burning blade with a falcon blade. Too much falcon blades on the brain. I'm going to be honest. Now we still also want to craft up a turbo Shelly, so we're taking our flames over a fire pit, which is not the most ideal. I do still want to grab our storage though. I'm going to venture on, I'm going to speed up our burning blade. With this topaz, it might be too much stamina for us. Going up to 0.8 with 0.7, it's not going to be too bad actually. We'll also our Shelly going at 7 seconds. 7 seconds is kind of crazy. Because we're going to be full heal, we're going to get heat stacked up, and we're going to be getting this guy going faster and faster. But it shouldn't be too bad for us. Now, our opponent does have a lot of spikes though, and that's where the issue is definitely going to lie. Shelly coming in clutch again. Stamina being a bit of an issue right now since we're going so fast. And unfortunately, the sheer amount of spikes our opponent did have was too much for us. Now, that is Snow Cake. And we could go for a CRYOMANCER angle. But we already got a crits. Now imagine Burning Blade Dragon with crits. I think that's probably going to be our game plan, if we're going to be honest. So I'm going to say goodbye to Snowcake. Keep rolling. And Lucky Pig could be the right call. I'm also going to switch our gemstones around because that was just way too much stamina for us. Now Chili Pepper. Do you want the Chili Pepper? Probably not. Let's take a tiny bit of luck. Grab a Burning Coal as well. Add in a Flame 2 and just keep rolling. And we could go for second box of riches, get even more gemstones going. We can grab ourselves another Hell Pot to speed up our Turbo Shelly even faster. Lots of options we could take. I'm going to be greedy though and take a box of riches. I'm not going to take the Hell Pot. I really do want to go for second Turbo Shelly more than anything. But we are facing a pumpkin with the Burning Blade. They're going to get tons of heat faster than us because of the double rainbow as well. We'll see how this actually pans out for us. Because right now it's not looking too great for us. Actually, never mind. Our Turbo Shelly is going nuts. It stacks over heats. But once the fatigue happens, they're going to get a crazy amount of heats. But we got there before they can get that fatigue. And that's just straight up Dancing Dragon. I mean, I did say I wanted dragons, right? But is Dancing Dragon really the right play? I mean, it is correct, but this is going to have to be our solo weapon. Burning Blade will have to go if we do take this guy. But he's going to give us 100% crit chance since we got our Leaf Badge. So I'm down for it. We just need to find ourselves a crazy amount of man items. So we're going to sell you, we're going to take more of these with another fanny pack. And then I take these out as I roll to try and find ourselves any set of... Wait, that could be a power stacking for us. Any mana items. Do we take the carrot? I'm thinking very, very strongly about taking this carrot because with the sheer amount of luck we're going to have, we should be able to start off with an insane amount of power. We'll actually stack up a ton of empower. Still going to roll down. Add some coals. We could go CRYOMANCER angle with our Dancing Dragon. Inflict a turbo amount of coals from the get-go since we're going to stack up a lot of heat, but I don't think that's going to be a game plan. I will take another fanny pack. Trying to speed up our Dancing Dragon as much as possible. Probably a little bit too much for ourselves. But I do want to take this little bit of storage. I'm also thinking about selling the green gemstones, so we can go ahead and take this as well, craft that up, and let's get going once again. But this Turbo Shelly should be going even faster. We do Hell Pots, this guy's going to be going every 3 seconds, thanks to our amount of energy, and then every 5 seconds. So it should be able to stack over heats, or Dancing Dragon should be able to deal more damage. For every bit of heat this guy is going to have, he's going to have crazy damage. But opponents is going to have their spike action again, but good for us. We got a ranged weapon, we don't have a melee weapon, so spikes isn't going to do as much chippy damage this time around. And with a Turbo Shelly going faster and faster, really putting in the work for us. But it just barely wasn't enough. That was kind of insane. But we got our extra Shelly. Now here's the thing. You're going to be a magic item. So this guy's going to be a no-brainer to take. He also helps stack up our heats. We're going to take it. That is a crazy gemstone. I mean, it's 16 golds. To just completely ignore armor. Now this is going against my better judgment. I'm actually going to take that. Of Prison. But 16 golds, there's no way in hell I'm paying for that. I'm going to sell 1 box of riches because we literally are broke. We spent way too much gold on that. Like, way too much. Like, too much is an understatement. But this guy is going to ignore armor altogether. So was it worth it? 16 golds is also going to help stack up our mana, so our friendly fire can just get our heat stacked up. And once we start getting a bunch of mad items, once we start getting a bunch of luck, we should be able to resist an insane amount of debuffs. So, is it really going to be worth it? 16 gold for a gemstone is way too much value. If it was on half price, I would more than happy to take it then. But we do manage to still win out. And we got the best unique in the game. Yeah, this is correct. This has to be the most cracked one because this is literally just going to give us free damage on our Dancing Dragon. How the hell do we not take that? We take way more storage for ourselves, add in more flames, and we sell this gemstone just to keep rolling, and we sell this one to keep rolling again. And that's literally everything we ever dreamed of and more. And we could go Paradise Burg to duplicate all those buffs again, so I kind of want to take that fella also. So we got a bunch of magic items incoming, so we should be able to start off with even more heats. From the get-go, we do start off with only 4 heats, which is not too ideal. But we got our hits stacked off fast, so our friendly fire can start stacking up our heats. We're going to get massive damage on our Dancing Dragon right now, since we got that 10 heats. But our opponent is also dealing a lot of damage. But we do manage to get there in the end. Hell yeah, we just need to find ourselves some crits as well. Now, what should we go for right now? We could go Power of the Moon. Is that really going to be that great for us? Probably not. We're not trying to survive till fatigue. Guard Power, on the other hand, can help us stack up on power because once we reach 40 heats, it's just going to give us some power. Because we're going to get a ton of regen from this guy. Or we could take Turn Burst, get a little bit of spike action, but has a chance to stun our opponents. Now, it's not too bad. It is on sale. Kind of tempted to take it, actually. Just because it is on sale. Or we could gamble. I mean, since we're going to be planning on stacking up a lot of heats, stun our opponents could be a good show. Or do we just gamble? Do we risk it all and gamble? Okay, give me back. These gambles have not been paying off. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this Prismatic Orb. Because that's going to give us some starting mana too. It's going to give us some starting mana. And we're probably going to need to take the Stamina Sack, but let's get going once again. We don't really necessarily need any extra gemstones because this gemstone alone is going to be cracked. But it shouldn't be too bad. Once we get a bunch of mana items stacked around our Dancing Dragon, we should be able to start off with infinite heats, infinite crits, and this guy's just going to be cracked. I mean, the combination of Artifact Stone Heat with Dancing Dragon, yeah, it's just too good for us. Well, take our Mana Orb, get our bird, grab our Stamina Sack. We roll again. We could be taking Helms to stop our opponent from healing. But I don't even think that's going to be too necessary for ourselves. I'm also going to sell us a little bit of gemstones to take an extra flame, and honestly I'm going to take out a little bit of luck since we're going to be starting off with a little bit more from this too. But a Paradise Burb is going to be kind of nice, and we are going to rock on once again. We haven't seen a single set of blueberries at all. Because if we stacked up a bunch of blueberries, that would be nuts. Now stones, genuinely not going to be great for us at all. We got one stone that hits once, and that's all it does. That's a lot of heat stacked up for us. This guy should be doing 42 DPS right now. A lot of heat reduction down on us. And smashers. Definitely smashers. Now, honestly, if we do manage to get some block, we could lamp with a Jin's Lamp. It is a mana item. I'm going to take it. As crazy it is, way too highly priced. I'm going to sell you with another blue gemstone to go ahead and take this too. Potion Bolts. So I'm hoping that with a Paradise Burb, we can duplicate the heat we get from our Turbo Shellies. We get the heat from a Friendly Fire. That's all I really do want from this guy. I'm also going to sell his little Topaz to keep rolling. That's a big lifesteal, but I'm not going to take it. Now we could actually switch this into our helmet so we get some block. Just enough block to get our Jin's Lamp to pretty much activate on our Dancing Dragon to get even more damage from this guy. But do we actually necessarily need it? The crits we're stacking up does give us 32% crits. But opponent is surviving. Definitely so, and never mind, we smashed them out completely. Again, Dancing Dragon is just nuts, and that's just guaranteed crits. Now we could go for a Blue Sage's Collar. Yeah, I'm not going to be going for that. I'm going to take more storage. I'm actually just going to take out our box storages and I'm going to roll. And that is more Jin's Lamps. It is an insane amount of gold. For 2 extra heats. Is it really that worth it? If we want to keep getting our gemstones, honestly, I'm not really planning on using our gemstones all that much. The big blue gemstones all I really wanted. The more lamps we do stack up on our guy means the more we can get our spikes and our mana stacked up easier. I'm going to sell this and I will be taking it. But I'm going to sell this little green gemstone and I'm going to continue rolling. That's finally a set of blueberries. Finally a set of blueberries so we can actually get a tiny bit more heats that we don't have to spend an arm leg to get. Yeah, I'm going to be venturing on once again. But we should be able to start off with 100% crits. Literally, well, 77%. 11 luck. That should be, honestly, 55% crits. But that invincibility is going to be kind of tough for us. Because we need to be going fast. Invincibility literally stops us. We're right in our tracks. Well, let's take this for now. Let's keep rolling. Do we want in a practically large greatsword? It keeps wanting to give it to us. We could take the dagger as well. We could start taking some block potions. Literally, if we activate this at the right time, we could potentially get enough block to actually lamp. Still gonna roll though. And should we just take this helmet? I think so at least. That should be kind of awesome for us. So, are we gonna be able to keep up with our Dancing Dragon facing his opponents with infinite lifesteal down? They're gonna be lifestealing for every hit. They're gonna be dealing some big damage themselves. We should be able to get our crits and ignore all their armor. Unfortunately, we do end up losing out. However, let's grab our helmet. Let's make sure to craft it up, and I do want to grab this fanfare as well. But time to say goodbye to our piggy bank. With our extra flame. And 1 extra flame too, so we can get our storage also. So yeah, we gotta move on with this. Is this really gonna be good enough? I'm kind of hoping so. But that's Burning Blade Dragons. This is the angle we definitely could have went for. Invincibility again is gonna be a bit of a problem. They got tons of block, and we're just straight up ignoring. and smashers. Literally smashers. So we did end up with about an 83 DPS. Not bad. Definitely not bad. In terms of heals, we managed very, very little heals. Altogether, maximum health, not too great either, and block. Yeah, we got not too great block. With Stone Skip Bot, Protectile Purse, Flawed Sapphire. We did manage to use our Jin's Lamp, which is kind of nice. This is a point where I think we should honestly take our points and run. But since we're going to get a helmet, I'm going to risk it a little bit. Now, this guy is what I've been waiting for as well. This guy is going to give us invincibility, which is definitely exactly what I was looking for. Using our mana, but also powering up our Dancing Dragon, exactly what I want. Another break-in mana orb, which we do want to grab as well. And we can also take the flute, so we have to potentially get some blocks stacked up enough to get our Glowing Crown to activate. But I do want to take our tiny bit of storage. And yeah, we're going to be taking both of these in the next round. So we'll see how this actually pans out. Hoping that we can get our invincibility, because we should be able to stack up our mana extremely fast. Just give us time to beat down opponents, because we're kind of a race build right now. We need our Dancing Dragon to deal with big damage and survive just long enough, and hell yeah. Not bad. And we could also go for Gloves of Power on our Dancing Dragon. That could also be another shout. Instead of having our potion have to be proc to try and get a block, that's just going to be enough block to just straight up lamp. But we would have to lose potentially our Elite Badge on our Dancing Dragon. Are we okay with that? We really do want to grab this mana orb though, instead of the set of blue base. You know, I'm going to take the gloves because it's going to make our Dancing Dragon deal a lot more damage. I'm going to sell a flame, take this too, but I'm not sure how we're going to fit that in just yet. So maybe I move on with this. Just have our gloves in a less than ideal spot. Keep everything the way it is. Get our free damage. Get our flute guns. We should be able to potentially stack up a little bit more luck, but also give ourselves a chance to activate our Jin's Lamps. Now the problem is, if we keep lamping, we are going to use up our luck, but we are facing a double axe with a lot of skilling damage with the Falcon Blade. This could be kind of dicey because you're going to get tons of speed, you're going to get tons of skilling damage. You do need to outrace them. They have tons of block, which honestly is going to be great for us. But right now, we barely survived. Holy moly, we managed to outrace them. Hell yeah. And we got ourselves a glow. We got ourselves a Gloves of Power. Now you finally show up. This is exactly what I've been looking for this entire freaking time, man. So I do want to take it. I want to take it and I want to place it in here. So that's just going to be a lot of mana from the rip. It's going to kind of negate our helmet a little bit. But that's going to be okay too. Is there anything else we really do want? I mean, I kind of want to sell some flames right now. Sell some flames so we can take this little bit of storage. With every bit of heat that we do add in, it's going to be really, really awesome for us. I mean, I'm going to be speeding up our Dancing Dragon with a regular topaz because our Gloves of Power is going to slow it down by a little bit too. But 20% increased damage on this guy should be nuts, especially with Artifact's own heats and everything else as well. Now I'm still prioritizing speeding up our Turbo Shelling more than anything. And yeah, I'm going to be rocking on with this. In our final runs, is this Dancing Dragon build going to be good enough to take on a Null Blade type situation with an Ice Flower? We are going to resist an insane amount of debuffs with our luck. With our Gloves of Power with our Stoned, we should be able to get that damage reduction for a longer time every time we do hit. We get more and more block. And with all our buffs, we should be able to lamp, and our build has went from being just okay to actually being smashing. Definitely so. It took us right till the very, very last moment to get this going. 100% crit chance, 95 DPS, and just overall smash. We went from a racing builds to actually potentially being a little bit more defensive. 15 block, never mind, that is crazy low block. But in terms of DPS, we did manage about 120 DPS, which is not too bad. And in terms of heals, we didn't have a whole lot of healing either. So we were definitely a race build. We had tons of DPS, but very, very little defenses. However, we did survive 2 lives left. How much rank points is this going to give us? Our Dancing Dragon victory, plus 20, rank this back up to Masters just a little bit. And hell yeah. But I'm going to have to leave it here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, even subscribing. And I hope to keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, we're back. It's around 18 fights. And holy moly, we could be in for a tough one with these strong demonic flasks. That's for sure. But we're going to ignore all the block. And never mind. Literally insane. And can we deal with a debuff stacking Prismatic Sword? With some crits. There's going to be a little bit of crits. But again, our opponent isn't going to have any block whatsoever. They are going to get some lifesteal potentially. But at the same time, is it really going to be able to keep up with us? Because they can't really inflict those debuffs. And that was a 268 crit Dancing Dragon attack. Now, can we deal with a double Snowmaster Stormbloom? This is definitely an interesting build. But they're not going to be able to get that cold stacked up enough. And the Dancer Dragon is literally going to be doing some big old damage. However, never mind. Stone Shoes absolutely destroy Dancer Dragon. Yeah, this build literally counters it completely. Never mind. We do massive damage back. Hell yeah.